Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Top Tier Talk. This week we had a angry Amir, a smiley Chavez, and an excited Elliot as Arsenal managed to take a 4-2 win somehow after Emma Martinez, the inside agent. But yeah, Chavez, we'll start with you this week for Manchester
Oh,
United.
yeah. Start with the biggest game of the week. Man United, Barcelona, Camp Nou. Why are you looking at that? Elliot, were you in the biggest game in Europe this week? No, you weren't. Okay,
Bigger.
so just bigger. Yeah. To start with, I expected a madness this game. Barcelona fans, they were bigging their team up. I think they conceded 7 goals in the league season. They're 8 points clear of this Real Madrid team. Everything about them pointed to an incredible team. Brilliant midfield, by the way, Gavi, Pedri, and De Jong, and that doesn't even count Busquets. And we came there and we just dominated. They did fight back, to be fair to them. There were periods in the game where they came back, but it was not like I thought it would be. I thought we were going to come up against a barrier, like a block. Their defense was so open. We could have scored more goals. We missed chances. I mean, the amount of XG, I know XG is not always the greatest indicator, but the amount of XG we created in that game is a joke for a team that's conceded that less. So it makes me question La Liga now when we are supposed to think that La Liga is, this league that has better quality players. But who knows? Because we've had tougher tests at Brighton this year and Brentford, to be honest. So aside from that game, we then had the other game, Leicester 3-0, outstanding performance in the second half. First half was tough. One player I just want to talk about really quickly who's underrated this season very heavily is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno's been available for absolutely every minute of every game so far this season. In his whole career, he's been, I think, injured. Well, he's been out for 2 games because of illness. He is unbelievable. He's such a good leader to have. Every game, even the games that he has are bad. The bad games that everyone talks about, off the ball, he is unbelievable. He doesn't stop running. He's always the player who covers the most distance, even though he's playing every minute of every game. And he's an unbelievable leader. There was a video when Jadon Sancho scored and he wanted to celebrate with Bruno. Bruno just threw him ahead and said, "Have your moment." The guy's a natural born leader. The whole dressing room looks up to him. It's so obvious. And to be honest, we should really be grateful, especially in an era where players get injured randomly. It happens. A player like him is just too invaluable at the moment. And he had one of his best games.
He's a rat. I hate him.
And if he was your player, you would love him. He would be your rat.
You're right. Is it Diego Costa? Yes.
He reminds me of Wayne Rooney. Every decision, even if it's not in our favor or against us, even if it might not be for us, like it might be the referee might have made a right decision. He's in the referee's ear arguing. He's making every tackle. He's there for everything. Any player has a problem, he packs the beef. He's always there. And he really does remind me of Wayne Rooney when it comes to that. Even for Bruno, when he has his worst game in his career, he'll give you that 100% off the ball. And to be honest, there are players now in the Premier League with the money they get that you could criticize their hard work and like how much they actually give in. With Bruno, you could never do that. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, guess in the Barca game, I think you got peppered, to be honest. I don't know how you're saying you got dominated. You dominated. I saw in the second half, clinging on for dear life. They should have had a penalty for the handball. And it was just them not finishing and getting the ball in the back of the net because you lot were clinging on for dear life. So I don't really see how you saw that.
We had similar chances. They ended the game well, to be fair to them, but they made about 5 changes to get to that point. And for some reason, Xavi's initial plan, he completely failed. I don't know if it's tactical, but he did. The Alonso centre-back thing didn't work. It just didn't nullify Rashford. He brought on his best players, then it worked. With that game, Rashford was in on goal and Koundé tackled him. This was in the 64th minute. It was a straight red card. The referees didn't give it. It was right at 2-1. If they had given that, the whole course of the game would have changed. The handball you're talking about, I will concede. Sure, referees could have given that as a handball. It was an incorrect decision in the moment, but that wouldn't have ever even happened because they would have been down to 10 men in the 64th. The referees, it wasn't the referees' fault. I don't blame the referees in the moment of the game. VAR is in place to see these things that get missed by referees. VAR just didn't get involved, and it was expected. It's Barcelona, it's the Camp Nou. Everyone's been telling us in La Liga about what it's like, and it did feel like that in that game.
Yeah, and
I'm going to weigh in.
Go for it.
Oh no, as you, Amir, you said obviously Barca had a lot of chances. United had a lot of chances. As a neutral, I'm sure Elliot and Amir, you both agree. It was a good. If you watched it, I enjoyed watching it.
Game. One better than all the Champions League games, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's great to see both managers promising, both clubs promising. It lived up to it. It was the best game.
The Europa League superior to the Champions League.
Just a final point, Amir, before you make your point. You going, it's like what it's going to the Camp Nou. Big teams. How do you think other clubs feel coming to Old Trafford in the Premier League, Chavez?
Well, thanks for calling us a big club, and thanks for saying that we have a big stadium.
Well, you do. No,
Well, I
exactly.
think any normal football fan would say that, but yeah.
But what can I say, Dan? That decision is horrific. Ten Hag. One thing, by the way, Ten Hag doesn't complain in his press conferences. He never complains about how we're playing 3 days a week, every 3 days decisions. He usually never goes into it because he
Who
doesn't want
complains
that.
about 3 days a week? What kind of
No, no,
nonsense
no.
is that? Why would you
Arteta just did it
complain?
for the first time. For
Yeah,
the
but
first time,
Arteta, but
Arsenal
it's
had
the
it at
first
three.
time Arsenal have done it. Liverpool were in all 4 competitions and got to the final in all of them.
Yeah, but they
So
all do it, and Ten Hag hasn't done it once. I'm just saying, Ten Hag is some. Let me finish my point. Ten Hag is someone who doesn't complain about these things. He wants referees to not be a factor in the final scoreline of a game. But even in that game, he lost it because that was a horrendous decision in the 64th minute. If that was given, this tie would be done. We could have scored 3, 4, 5. We were already looking like scoring more goals straight after our second goal against 10 men. They would have been finished. And the referee just get the VAR. They gave a blind eye to it, and it was. I don't get why Rashford didn't get a yellow card. If it's a terrible dive, by the way. If it is, it's actually quite terrible on Rashford's part for making a dive like that. I would argue give him a red card in a game as big of a magnitude as that. But he didn't. The referee doesn't get involved. Do something about it, or actually go to VAR and make a decision. He didn't do anything. Just left it.
fair enough. Speaking of red cards, also Bitzer should have got one for that high tackle on the knee as well. That was
No,
dangerous.
did you watch the video of the tackle? If you did, and
I
you're
saw
saying it's a
what
red
his
card,
knee
then
was,
fair
and that's
enough.
enough for me to be dangerous play to get a red card.
No, if I tap you with my finger, even if I tap you with my leg, it doesn't matter. If I go through you, then yes, he literally tapped.
His eye. You can't be above. He was above knee height. That's dangerous play. It's reckless. Should be a red card.
You are allowed to tap. You're allowed to tap in the head,
Can't-
as long as you
You
don't.
can't tap in the
As
head.
long as you don't actually go in.
Be real. You
No,
can't
but he
tap in the
didn't.
head.
He didn't fall. He didn't go through with it. It was like a brush. He
So
completely
what?
withdrew from the tackle.
It looked dangerous
Yeah,
to
from the
me.
picture, you can take many pictures, and if we want to complain about pictures, any player that holds another player by the neck should be sent off. And since Casemiro's red card, about 7 players should. No one's been sent off, so there's no consistency.
Yeah,
if we want to use
that's
freeze
the
frame,
issue.
if
Yeah.
you want to do freeze frame for decisions, then sure, Casemiro's red card, give him a 15-match ban because he did it for more than 2 seconds. But then 7 more players should be sent off. In that moment, Fred should be sent off. The Crystal Palace player should be sent off. More players need to be sent off than every week for holding the neck, even if it's by a millisecond. That's not how football works.
But no, to me,
You can't do it on freeze frame.
It wasn't on freeze frame. I watched it back. He made contact.
He
with
quite
him.
literally just went out of the tackle. The player didn't even fall down that because he knew it was literally in and out. If he went for, if there was even a bit of like staying in there, that's a red card. That's no question about it. The player could break his leg. But he didn't.
That was a red card. Trust me.
Wasn't.
It's debatable, isn't it? And I'm going to give some props to Ten Hag again. I mean, the Sancho management looks like it's been working with his time away from the game and stuff because he's come back and he scored in a couple and he's building confidence. So props to
Ten and a new position. He looks brilliant in it.
Exactly. So give props to there, and I guess he's brought the best out of Rashford as well. And it's not just obviously the manager, but Rashford himself has obviously brought him to his new level. But I remember last year. Yeah, he's talking about the freeze frame. He said because there's a
but you're quite literally proving my point now. Thank you.
Yeah.
If we did that in a football match, there's a lot of terrible things that go on.
But that does go on every single time. Every single time it's slowed down and made worse than it is, and people get sent off for worse.
Well, yeah, and we faced the problem with that when Casemiro got sent off for trying to stop the fight.
Well, you can't have your hand around a guy's neck if you're stopping a fight. Plenty of players.
Yeah, but by that logic, 20 more players should be sent off since then.
Right.
So,
do you want to move on, Dan?
Yeah, God, just a bit of lag there, so no surprise. We always end on Chelsea, and it is quite funny losing to managerless Southampton. So, Elliot, Arsenal, take it away.
Thank you very much, Daniel. I had the pleasure of watching. Well, I shouldn't say pleasure. I had the watching the first half of the Arsenal game because I was away for the second half. But I'll commentate on the first half, and then I'll just basically say what I think about the second half when I watched the highlights. First half was a bit abysmal. We seem to be like letting the nerves of first place in the Premier League get into us. It seems to be like everyone was kind of a bit drop-offish and wasn't really fighting for like any points kind of to go in the first half. As I say, for the first goal, it was a bit, I don't know, shit happens. Do you know what I mean? Ollie Watkins, good goal, as I say. Saka, great goal to get us back in level. And as I say, it's just a bit like deflated for the first half. Everyone wasn't really on it. Xhaka again is falling off a tiny bit. He needs to find his form again. That'll be good. and then it went 2-1 up. And I have to say, Villa's second goal was absolutely fantastic. Like they formed it really well. The passing, like the little like no look back to Coutinho when he scored. Great goal. Nothing you can do about it. It was just like, as I say, no one's really on their man properly in that first half, and it was quite disorganized in that first half. But then obviously once I came back and saw that we won 4-2, I was like, what the fuck happened? Do you know what I mean? We must have played like the game of our life. And looking back, we did. Zinchenko's second goal, absolute masterclass, bottom right, love to see it. I love him as well when he scored it. Firing everyone up, get back, let's go, we can win this game, love to see it. Jorginho, sing his praises. Do you know what? I want every Arsenal fan who watches this, to apologise to him. I remember you guys asked me actually when you were like, "Is Jorginho a good sign?" I was like, "Yeah, 10 mil, 31." He's
we have
proven it.
video footage of you saying Jorginho is a bad signing. Do you care to comment on these rumours?
Yeah, I actually do because I want you to prove it. I never said he was a bad signing.
I know. It just
Can I
Never said
weigh
it.
with praise?
go for it, then.
I said, as you said, you didn't catch the second half, but at 2-2, I'm saying less than 5 minutes before you scored. I think it was Leon Bailey went sprinting through, and Ramsdale tipped one onto the crossbar.
Got one to the crossbar, yeah.
Or not.
I did.
That probably would have won Villa the game. They would have sat back for the next 5-10 minutes,
It
or at least I don't think you wouldn't have won that game had that have gone in.
Yeah,
at 3-2.
no, it seems to be the case that nowadays teams are doing that. They're just basically playing about 8 people behind the ball and playing counter-attack football against us because that seems to have worked against us with Everton. And I hate to say it, but obviously we had more possession with Man City for the first time Man City's ever played us. But they did that same kind of thing as well. They just counter-attack us with about 3 to 4 players, let the rest sit back because obviously we were a good attack inside. As you correctly said, obviously Ramsdale, what a save. Fantastic little baller. And then obviously, Chavez, I want you to sing Martinelli's praises for his goal at the end, celebrating before he...
walking the ball into the net.
Yeah,
we could have all scored that.
Yeah.
We could have all scored that.
No, he scored.
No.
He scored.
I'll sing
he scored.
one of your players' praises. So a lot of us, well, I personally didn't. I didn't understand why Chelsea sold Jorginho to a rival, but now we all saw it from a point of, he off the ball, he's not Thomas Partey, he's not got the athleticism. Even at Chelsea, he was sort of losing.
He's got the vision, the passing.
As he gets old. But when you play, you have the ball so much, and when you have the ball, regardless of what happens, you're lethal on the ball. Your system is now perfected with Arteta. And what's happened with Jorginho is the possession stats for you. The possession is always higher with him on the pitch. And that means your chance creation is off the Richter scale now. Because when he's on that pitch, compared to Partey, he's actually more important against like a low block team, for example. He will keep that ball for you and he can create from deep. This is why I don't understand now why Chelsea would supply a player like that to Arsenal, because
no one understood his caliber. Everyone's apologising.
Jorginho can start. I think Jorginho can actually start over Partey, especially against low blocks. Because
Jorginho Partey
against a low block.
This is a couple games. Like Jorginho has been good, but over Partey has been.
Maybe Jorginho Partey, like partnership, maybe keep Xhaka out because he's had a few bookie games, like we did for Martinelli for Trossard this weekend.
Xhaka covers what Jorginho lacks in athleticism. Xhaka covers. Again, Jorginho Partey would be incredible.
Yeah. Try it. The thing is, we can try it. We've got
just that. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's going to be the box to box in that?
Xhaka. Xhaka's been doing it all season.
Jorginho Partey.
Jorginho Partey. They can. I don't know. See, this is the thing. Partey
can
would
do what they want.
Move further forward.
Yeah,
but I don't think Partey would mind that.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, I want to add onto it as well. Is that I do actually remember you guys actually stating to me at the start of the season when you were not the start of the season in January when you were just like, "Is this Jorginho signing good?" And I was like, "Well, there's nothing that can go wrong. 10 mil. Let's get wrong. Like we could probably get another 3 years out of him for his prime. Like he's still good. Do you know what I mean? 10 million for an experienced kind of centre midfielder who's done his job for Chelsea in the Premier League, who's another top team in the Premier League. 10 mil." Yes, because your team's shit.
He won the Champions League with you, and he won Ballon d'Or. What was it? Wasn't he top 3 in Ballon d'Or?
Exactly,
a player like that doesn't
10
just
million
shit overnight.
Exactly.
Your system is horrific, and I feel like you benefit from him.
There's no
exactly, and Jorginho's just paid for it.
You're certainly correct. Obviously, Jorginho's creating those chances. I'm watching him throughout the game. He was man of the match last game when we lost to Man City, and he's man of the match against Aston Villa as well. 2 man of the match performances as he started. And honestly, I can't fault the guy. He's been so good. He's been integral. He's been that key that go basically like let's say Ben White or like Zinchenko pick it up and then they pass it to him in the middle. He turns out and he knows where to look and where to go. He's just there. And he just passes it through straight away. Like Saka knows when to run. There's one thing I want to say though, and he needs to start picking up his form. Otherwise, Jesus walks straight back into that team. Nketiah, he's having like serving straight to him. Like someone's bringing him a plate full of dinner. He goes, "Nah, I'm hungry." Like he has had so many chances to literally put these like bad boys away, and he's not taking them. Like as a clinical striker, as your job, you need to be taking them and putting them in the back of the net. And he's failing that at the moment, which is quite scary because he's our prolific. Well, I don't even know if he's our that because Jesus is coming back, but he's.
He's
do you know what I mean?
he's a number 2 though. That's why he's
Yeah.
never going to be a number
Yeah, but
one.
yeah, but this is what I'm
You've
saying.
always had that with him, though. He's not clinical. Even in the Arsenal game where you beat us, he missed so many chances before he did score 2 goals.
That's
You're always
insane,
going to
yeah.
get that with him. It's unfortunate, but he's just not that level of clinical.
Clinical,
He's
yeah.
just not that good.
He's an all right number 2 and not a number 1. But yeah, I guess praise to you lot. I guess again because
Top of the league by 2 points and a game in hand.
Wednesday's
And
disaster class to now. Man City dropped points, so you're kind
they
of.
had a
back in
shit game. They had so many chances to put them away, and they just failed to do it. It's unbelievable. It's like luck's on our side.
Right, Chavez, are you not winning the league?
For us, we're not in the title race, mate.
Arsenal win the league, Chavez.
Regardless of how much the media point out that we're in a title
Chavez.
race, us United fans are not saying we are in a title race.
Chavez, are Arsenal winning the league?
You are. No, but the thing is, league. No. That's what you said. Title race. No, title race. No. You're not going to win the league, but I do think you have to accept that even if you don't win the league, you can't be negative on this team because I feel like some of your fans, the way the entitlement goes around your club, you'll get upset. This Man City team is extraordinary. Pep is currently doing a madness. I know they didn't beat Forest, but some of the things he's doing in that team are incredible.
Yeah.
But Bernardo Silva is excelling at left back, and he's just finding ways. They just need to find a way to incorporate Haaland into this team. And against Arsenal, I thought they'd done it. They'd unlocked the whole. They have all the jigsaw pieces. They have one of the best squads in the world. I thought they just need to place them in the right place to get Haaland to be unlocked, and he did. He was brilliant against you. But then again, they've just missed chances against Forest.
I would say though the Arsenal defense has kind of plateaued a bit since the start of the season. I think
Saliba's been poor. I think Saliba could potentially be dropped soon.
No, I don't think that. But I think they haven't. They started the boundary was set so high, but it's kind of like dropping off slowly. But I don't think there's major cause for concern. They still winning games. If you're still winning games, it doesn't matter. Really.
The thing is, if Jorginho didn't score that goal, that would have been the main focus.
I've never seen Jorginho for Chelsea take a shot like that, by the way. So it's just nuts, really. Yeah. But,
I'm not sure about your Polish centre back. I don't know what's going on.
Give your.
He's just not playing.
He'll play eventually.
He's
take a
just
masterclass.
a bench warmer. He's a bench. He's a bench warmer. He's not a starter, really.
You know when Rob Holding came on as well. You know the game's sealed for 3 points.
The Rob Holding
the spiral that Saliba's going down right now. Who knows?
Spiral. Give it a rest.
Ben White and Saliba have not been okay.
Well, we're top of the league, so suck on that. Anyway.
I
want to be. Dad, go on. Explain it. Go on. Chelsea's disarray.
Well, yeah, they lost to Dortmund and then lost to Southampton. Managerless Southampton.
Yeah.
Is Potter out?
Proud of the one that could Emmy as well in the week.
Is Potter out?
Good question. For me at the moment, he's still in, but I think you lot think I'm really stupid for being in, I'm assuming.
No, I don't.
Chelsea is a very depressing, crap team right now, despite the major transfer and players we brought in. But I can't put a I don't know really what's going on. The Dortmund game, I thought clinical striker was the issue. We didn't finish our chances. Felix had a few, etc. And they obviously in the transition they scored the goal. Fair enough. The Southampton game there's no excuse for it. He changed the lineup up. He brought Fofana as a striker, only striker at the moment because Aubameyang's in isolation. And he took him off at half time. He put Mount as like the number 9, and we started putting crosses in the second half. So, what can you really say about that? And a lot of it is on Graham Potter on this one because the in-game management was terrible.
Amir, who have you got next?
It has been for the last 3 games.
It has been terrible. No one.
Who's your next game?
I saw Tottenham.
Are you going to win that?
I hope so. I'm confident. We always do a job on Spurs, but it really depends right now because there's a lot of issues. And Graham Potter, for the first time, we can't hide and scapegoat behind the fact that players are injured and stuff because players are coming back. It's the in-game management that's the issue. He's bringing on 4 or 5 subs each game. He doesn't know his best team as well. But for some reason I'm still in. And a lot of Chelsea fans, I think it's about 70-80% of them are out at this point.
Yeah.
So
One thing I would
it's
say,
the sticky
so
one, really.
sometimes owners will say, and they might mean it, that they will, no matter what, they won't sack the manager, which Todd is in that position because he has invested a lot of money
No,
to
the
get
only
Potter from
reason he's in
Brighton.
that position, and I read about it, is because he doesn't want to take the L on Potter, really, does he?
Yeah,
He
so that's what I'm saying.
probably
Todd's in a
knows.
mad position right now. But the thing is, things can happen. So, for example, I'm sure that when Man United had Ollie and those 2 games came where we lost 5-0 to Liverpool and then lost to Man City, at that point, we were so Ollie in. Like, even not our fan base, sorry, our owners, because it's their project, right? But I think a loss to Tottenham in a derby at their stadium, especially
It
a
could
bad
be the
one,
final
I
straw,
think
yeah.
it just gets to a point where it's
I
quite
think it's the
literally
next two
possible.
games. I think we got Leeds and Tottenham, and Leeds are another relegation side. If we lose there, I think the Tottenham one will cause loads of protests with the
Wait, are you
fans.
playing midweek?
I don't know if it's midweek, but I know that's our 2 fixtures.
No, I just checked. You're not playing midweek.
We've got Leeds.
So your
coming
next
up,
game is quite, I think either that or losing to Dortmund and going out of the Champions League. I think eventually it will just lead to a sack. And he might not even want to do it. But
All
No,
I'm
and-
going to say, Amir, Javi Garcia could be going to Leeds, and he did master one the 4-1 win over you, so it could be mudded for Potter before it's even
you
started.
might have a new manager bounce to deal with then as well. And that is one of the most powerful things in football. You saw it. Southampton beat you. It's just like, it's unmatched.
The issue is you can't even like clown it at this point because it's like, how much bad form can a team go on, and how much clowning could you do? Because we've said all our pieces really. Like we've had our back and forth all of us.
Same thing every week.
It's like at this point, our winter window was like a summer one, really, wasn't it? We
Yeah.
had so many incoming. There's no way a team can get worse after bringing that many players in and having so little outgoings. You're telling me losing Jorginho was the reason for all this? Like, do you know what I mean? In terms of outgoings and stuff, like you can't bring that many players in. And
On the flip side, I know obviously the quality of players are different, but you look at Forest at the start of the season compared to, I know they're not playing brilliantly, but they're grinding out results compared to now. Like they bought in, what was it, 30 something players? I know obviously the quality of player wasn't as high and you didn't bring in that many, but it will take a while. And it's still,
that's
no
what
matter-
I'm
no
banking
matter
on
how many
him
you brought in,
not knowing his best team. You're absolutely right there.
It's
That's
still
what I'm
not
kind
his
of just
squad, so-
clinging on to. But how much more is what the other, like I can like take losses and stuff, more losses. But if you're losing to the bottom of the team, managerless Southampton, like our B team should be beating them. Like there's major issues here. Like there's and
disagreed.
his you disagree.
You
Yeah,
think there's no issues?
No, there are issues, but it shouldn't be a case of our B team should be beating Southampton.
Our B
It's a
team is
case of
better than their first team. Do you not think that?
doesn't
Nah,
it's not
They're one of the best squads in Europe.
Southampton got Maitland-Niles, so
Well,
weighs
that's
down a bit.
exactly why we're beating their B. Our B team beats.
well,
I was
obviously it
gonna
hasn't
say,
though.
Well,
But
Wait,
no,
this is how
It's not as
personally-
easy as that. Is why I disagree with that point.
this is how I
Player for
see the
player, our
situation
B team is-
developing.
Go on.
In the summer, by the summer, I think Potter will stay. He'll leave. He'll get sacked eventually. He'll go to manage England. Tottenham will sack. Well, Conte will leave Tottenham. Tottenham will get Mauricio Pochettino. Tuchel will go to PSG when they sack their manager. That's how I think it will shift around. I don't know where that leaves Conte, but yeah,
Well,
I don't see
what,
Potter.
no, what does that? How does that affect Chelsea? Are we just gonna remain managerless then?
Did I say who you again?
No, you just said
Oh, sorry, no. I meant Conte. Yeah, you might get Conte, but also Hansi Flick if he's willing to leave. But I don't know.
Hansi Flick has a
Mourinho
lot of
back.
names I've heard. I've heard Luis Enrique. Obviously, Mourinho's been twerking, but
Yeah, Conte you could get back. Yeah, Conte was the one I meant.
I don't know to be honest. I'm not too happy with some of the words Potter says as well in like the match interviews. It's like, oh, we had a lot of rotation, etc. All this stuff. Oh, this that. But I don't know. I think the fans just want a bit more from him. There's not much passion, is there? Or like,
There's not much passion. There's not much aggression.
it's like oh, that's
talking-
life. This that. Like, what kind of crap is that?
Chelsea fan about Potter the other day. Yeah, but I was talking to a Chelsea fan about this the other day, and I was like, no manager's going to come out and go, the team are crap, players are crap. You specifically, for example, Mudryk, you were terrible today, and call their players out. They're going to protect their squad.
That's another
protect their
question we're
players.
going to be having.
And then as a
I'm
fan,
not one to put
you
players on the.
go back in and break down.
You're right. No, that's another player that's probably gonna end up being in the 007 club soon, Mudryk, because there's so much change to how he started off against Liverpool to now. And I don't know if because the team and the morale are just down or it's just him, because
I'll take a
even you said,
masterclass.
Chavez, what you saw him in the first game to now, it's just
It's mad. I don't think it's him. I think that's how the club is right now. That a player that talented in the first game has just gone to shit like that.
There's no way you got that much talent to it.
Do you know your dressing room? This is why I have an issue with some of your transfer dealings, because like Potter's not Mourinho. He's not going to come out. He shouldn't be making excuses, but he's not even the type of manager who's going to come out and put the players down because he can't. Your players have so much power in that dressing room. They get paid so much. There's so many superstars. A manager like Potter who's not really achieved much in the game, he can't, like, he shouldn't be having to make excuses. He should be allowed to say, oh, this player wasn't good. Not like name by name, but say the players weren't good enough today. Because after Dortmund, that Dortmund game, he coached a 5-0. But the players let him down. But he can't even do that because he doesn't have that power.
Yeah, in that game, see, that
losing the dressing room.
That game doesn't it's not that game that I think fans should be like Potter out or in, because that was just a lack of clinical striker and just because we created a lot of chances there. As you said, we coached a 5-0, but obviously didn't end up being that. But the Southampton game is inexcusable because that's bottom of the league. You don't. That is really like.
Yeah. I think he's lost it, then hasn't he? He's lost the dressing room.
Yeah.
But it might not even be that. It's just it could be a new manager thing. You look at Everton beating Arsenal. You look at
they don't have a manager, Dan.
Yeah, but you know, well, caretaker, like how Leeds got the draw against us.
Yeah, that was my next team. It's like 3 weeks in a row. There's been a managerless or a new manager bounce or a change in atmosphere that's got results. You see it loads. Whether it lasts for a couple of, I know it shouldn't, but it's also a case of, for me, speaking of like for Watford being bottom of the table, when we play bigger teams, it's a big scalp. Your players and your fans get up for it, especially when you know you're in a dogfight. And when we went down, we got a draw against Arsenal. We narrowly lost to Chelsea, and I think we got a draw against United as well. Or no, we beat you, didn't we?
Dan, do you know what? It's that and 99 times of 100 is that, but this one time it's not because he's right. Yeah. Potter makes contradicting decisions in matches, and he didn't make the right decisions in that game.
Hell is the Aubameyang decision? I don't know if it's the board telling him or not, but any dumbass can see it. Aubameyang was a clinical goal scorer at Arsenal, and throughout his career, he's scored goals. He's got a goal in him. Who decides to isolate and not play him? I don't know if he's bad behaviour or whatever, or
he's shit,
disciplinary issues, or he's not shit. He's better than having that bum Havertz up top. Or
wait, hold on, actually.
Wait, no, don't disrespect your.
Yeah, no, hold on. You got Lukaku to come back in the summer.
Huh?
You got Lukaku to come back in the summer.
Listen,
you're on your knees,
Lukaku. At this moment, I'll take anything. I will take Lukaku back.
That's so sad. Exactly. There was a time you said he should never play for the club again after what he did.
No, but this is desperate. I'm desperate right now for someone to score goals and bag finishes.
He won't score.
Can you guys name the last striker that Chelsea had that was a bagsman?
That was a what? That was a what, sorry?
No,
bagsman scored goals.
Chelsea.
No.
There you go, Costa.
Drogba. It's literally Drogba.
Costa.
Costa was clinical, but you could also say the team as well was quite good around him. But clinical world-class striker was Drogba. And when did he leave Chelsea? Fully, like...
Actually...
Who are you going to say, Morata?
You should be going for Osimhen then.
Higuain.
But that's the issue, though. We got the star Serie A striker. We got...
But no, but this is the issue.
Higuain, yeah.
Chelsea, even with, what's his name? In the summer, in Nkunku. He's not an out-and-out striker.
That's why I said horrific, like, signing, personally.
It's not horrific.
It's not what you need.
They've got Nkunku and Lukaku coming in the summer. That's crazy.
But it's almost like, for example, Chelsea start leaking goals left, right and centre, and Todd Bowley goes, oh, now we're going to finally buy number 9. It's like, you needed that ages ago. It's not what we need now. It's like he works on the defence, which was okay. You weren't shipping a load of
down. We addressed this with 100 million in Lukaku, and obviously that went into shit after a good couple months. Obviously Werner didn't work out, and he's banging in.
How long ago did you sign? How long did you sign Lukaku? How long ago? Sorry,
2 years ago.
Last season. 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, and how many windows have you had since then? And
I think they'll sell him. You'll sell him in the summer. You should be going for the one of the top 2 players in the world right now, Osimhen. Like, you should be throwing everything.
The last player we signed from Serie A who was top goal scorer or up there was...
Right, who do you want? The only other player in world football that you can rely on in that position is Harry Kane. There's no one else you could go, oh, I rely on him to be my number 9, especially with your curse. There's literally no one.
Tony?
Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, but that's.
Tony would be a good signing, but
I'd rather Osimhen than Tony. I'd trust Osimhen more because Tony could be in prison any minute.
Yeah,
betting.
that's another thing with him. But there are other. Mm.
There's no. It's literally Harry Kane is the most reliable player to sign right now, but he's not going to go to you. So it's Osimhen.
Listen, Chelsea is a fucking shithouse at the moment.
Yeah, this is really like in the depths. Like you guys know, most teams have a manager bounce. Did Chelsea even have a manager bounce on with the Potter?
No, you lost 4-1 to Brighton in your first game.
We don't have manager bounce. This is how bad this is right now. But for some
He
reason,
was so quick with that. He was so quick.
No, do you know
he's got
why?
all the
There was a
stats in his
manager
head.
bounce that game. It was for Brighton because they lost Potter.
Yes. But historically, Potter's needed time to, and I'm sure all managers do, to obviously succeed. Like he finished 16th, like twice, didn't he, with Brighton, or 16 and 15 before finishing in the top 10, the third season. So I think he just doesn't know his best team, but it's the in-game management, as me and you said, Chavez, that's kind of messed this up a bit. And I'm just thinking like, ooh.
I still, in the strangest way, I have so much respect that Todd isn't tackle. Like the longer he doesn't get sacked, the more respect I have for Todd Bowley.
Well, they're
if
saying
you lose to Tottenham,
they're saying to
you
end the
lose to
season.
Tottenham, and he doesn't get sacked. That's incredible.
It'll be the fans that get that will push the board to get him sacked. I think it won't be Todd himself. Todd will be forced to by the fans and like the negative attitude. So I think if he's going to get sacked, that's it really, and then we'll see.
Chelsea
But,
just goes.
Do you think you'll get 40 points?
Yeah, I do. Somehow I think we're going to get 40 points, but I don't
9
think we'll
points.
get much more than that. I think we'll be, as I said, I don't want Europa League or Euro Conference. I just want to stay in the Prem till next season.
It's not about what you want. It's about what you get. You're not even going to get anywhere near that.
We
have to worry about it.
We're like 11th, 12th, but it is what it is really. But
Bold prediction: you'll come 14th this season, I reckon.
I think that's about it. I think we can wrap it up there. Chelsea are terrible at football. Arsenal win the league and Man United are in the title race.
I think they'll beat Tottenham, by the way. They're going to
I do
overturn
think so too. We always get 3 points there or play well there.
And they'll go through in the Champions League as well at home. Dortmund. Watch.
More positive than me, mate. You're upbeat.
Well, before we leave, it's happening in an hour and a half. Watford West Brom predictions, quick.
West Brom was spanking you 4-0.
1-0 West Brom.
Go Chavez.
Bad game. Your lights will stay on this game.
Okay. I'll go 1-0. It was 1-0 at the Hawthorns, so I'll go 1-0. Yeah, that was it. So thanks for watching. And hopefully none of our predictions are right for our game. And hopefully everyone else's teams actually start playing proper football next week and win some. Well, Amir's team starts winning football.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's see it.
See ya.